Hi everyone, welcome to Life Tips by Ning. In today's video, I'm sharing how to analyze the Bazi chart if your daily master is an Yin Earth called Ji in Chinese, looking like this, born in the fall season. Because Yin Earth represents this farming soil, it's moist, it's soft. So compare its counterpart, the Yang Earth, they both share this Earth similar trait, such as it's very absorbent, it's very stable, it's inclusive of all this environmental different impacts and elements and kind of absorbs everything into the earth and suck it in. So translating that into a person's personality, meaning they're quite stable, reliable, and they have a high degree of tolerance for different noise and stress factors in life. But because the dominant element for fall season is metal, and we know earth grows metal, especially between the yin and yang earth, yin earth is the preferred material to grow metal. So metal means it's something I grow and support. It's my own ideas, freedom, creativity, and eloquency. It's my own opinion in this world and value system. So I would say fall born in earth not only has this in earth strength of being super stable, inclusive, very sensitive to the surroundings and careful about other people's feelings. So it's really high EQ, but they also have really high IQ because of this metal energy I create. So I have this unique, very logical and calm way of thinking, and quite talented in terms of bring your own very objective and critical thinking and value system to the world. So that's their strength. But in terms of how to analyze the Bazi chart, we know position number 6 is those 3 months, right? It's pretty much metal dominant energy. So the question is, what really do I need for the remaining 6 letters in my Bazi chart to be called the good Bazi? So that I can see, oh, I might missing 1 or 2 key elements. Then I need this annual or 10-year trend to introduce those preferred medicine or element to keep my Bazi in a very good condition. So that's the whole foundational structure of analyzing Bazi. So the answer is, first, Yin Earth need this sunshine and rain to keep itself in optimal condition. Otherwise, you're too cold and dry. The frozen earth is unusable versus the deserty earth is too dry and cracked. So you really need that balancing of water and warmth from the sunshine. That's why the two favorable elements is yang fire, which means sunshine, and yin water, which means rainwater. If you, in your remaining 6 letters in your chart, you have a good balancing energy of both, then it already provides the very optimal environment for this in earth to be super nutritional and do its job of either growing produce, plants, or growing metal or minerals underground. So that's the whole point. But there are finer differences. I'm like, do I want more of the water or do I want more of the fire? The answer depends on your birthday, because the whole trend moving from August to October is that the qi from the yang energy, which is more the wood and fire energy of hot, upwards, expansive, outward movements, is actually dying down, moving from summer to the fall and winter season. In contrast, the yin energy, which is more the metal and water energy, that's cooling, restrictive, introverted, they're actually on a incline, getting stronger and stronger, moving from summer to the fall season. So if your birthday is more on the fronter end of this spectrum, your default condition is you have maybe a little too much yang and a little lack of yin. In that case, you actually want more yin water in your Bazi to balance this yang fire energy. So it's the same logic. If your birthday is more at the tail end of October, you might have too much yin versus lacking the yang. The whole point is about keeping it in balance. So if that's the case, then you want actually a stronger yang fire showing up in your bazi, and maybe a little smaller dosage of this yin water. So overall, your bazi water and fire are in a very balancing condition. So that's kind of how you analyze if it's a good bazi or not. And another call out is because water and fire are natural enemies. Water suppresses fire, or if you have too much fire and too little water, too much fire can actually distinguish the small little more water and evaporate it, right? So it goes both ways. They're just enemies. Because of that, the positional placement in the bazi is super, super critical. As long as they're not neighbors, they should be fine. But if it's like you see a water and fire under position 1 and 2, or like 4 8, that type of either vertical or horizontally, they're neighbors, it's kind of a lose-lose situation because they see each other next to each other, they're gonna fight, and it reduces the kind of the strength of both and steal this energy from actually supporting my focal point of the bazi, which is my daily master. So that's not as ideal as maybe positioned a little further apart, so they don't see each other. There's some middleman in between, and then they can focus their energy on providing the much needed environmental boost to make this daily master healthy. And last but not least is what about the wood element? Because I said that the Yin Earth, if it's strong enough, another route is to have very useful wood energy to loosen up too much of a solid and concentrated earth. But fall is a very unique situation for this wood. Typically, I would say, yeah, if your earth is quite strong, wood would be a very good element to be introduced in your bazi to keep yourself in the balancing state. So your earth is actually doing something meaningful, growing plants. But in this case, because we know position number 6 is the most influential factor in the bazi and it's a metal for sure, and metal and wood are kind of similar to water and fire. They're natural enemies because metal suppresses wood, or too thick of a wood might dull the weapon cutting the wood. Either way, because of this kind of tension between the two, you really don't want to introduce a comparable amount of wood in your chart to fight this metal. What does that really mean? Because bazi is all about people's mindset. What that will result in is sometimes this person will have this thought about following the wood energy, which is wood suppresses earth. So wood is your official energy. It's like things restricting myself. I need to follow law and order. I need to follow a bunch of rules and play the games to climb the maybe corporate or governmental entity ladder. So that's the wood energy, suppressing myself. Versus sometimes I have this metal energy that's in similar quantity. And because earth grows metal, and metal equates to my own freedom, I crave for freedom, my own creativity. I want to do my own thing, have my own company. So you constantly have those two conflicting thoughts in your head. And then you might result in paralyzing yourself in actually taking action because you're not clear on which direction to follow. And that's not going to be a good bazi chart. A good bazi chart has all this balancing environmental influence to make the daily master in a good condition. Once you have that prerequisite met, it's all about having a very pure and clear direction in the bazi chart rather than having a bunch of similar conflicting elements, and then you're just not really concentrating your energy and following one clear path. So I would say be very careful of introducing wood. It might be useful if your bazi has way too much earth, especially if your birth month is October. So that's an earth type earthy branch here, and you have earth, and then you might have one or two other earth that might be too strong. In that case, wood can be introduced as a remedy to loosen up the soil, but it actually bring in a lot more additional risk of conflicting with this metal energy. So probably not going to be a super useful or favorable element for fall-born Yin Earth people. So going back, the primary element you want to see in your bazi is a balancing dosage of both yin water and yang fire. And that would be a very good bazi chart to begin with. So thank you for watching me blabbing about the logic behind this. And next episode, I'll share a few case studies so that you can understand how this plays out in real life bazi analysis. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.